Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. Yeah, Jared's stretching. He's ready to go today. He's getting loose and ready to rock on this edition of R&R here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. He is at Mr. Jared Moore. I am at Pucking Thoughts. Thanks for the follows, likes, subscribes, all that good stuff. Appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, well, what we like to do is open up some cards. You know, football season. We'll talk about what's going on in the NFLs. Hockey season gets closer, which hey, preseason games have happened already, so we're almost there. We'll talk plenty of hockey and baseball too, occasional basketball. Jared, how was the weekend?
Weekend was fine, and it's important to get a good stretch in. You know, you work muscles that you're not normally used to working. So, yeah, you kind of get the blood flowing a little bit here on a Monday.
See, I do that before I'll go and play hockey at the local arena, but I really should get in the habit of just doing that every day because it does. You do feel a little clearer and ready to go when you, like you said, you get the blood flowing. Now, we're talking about trying to feel young. Something quickly before we get to the pack ripping lineup. Every once in a while, you encounter a short while you're scrolling on your phone that you're like, all right, you know, that was well done. So this one, let me just set the scene for you. It's a college professor going through the syllabus in front of the classroom, and he says, you have 2 excused absences, but if anybody's willing to come down and dance in front of the classroom right now, I'll give you 15 unexcused absences. So the entire, every student's hand goes up. But the catch is it has to be from the year. The song has to be from the year you were born. Most hands go down. This song he played was Since You've Been Gone. And like, that's not like an important song to me, but just knowing that is now what college age kids, like that's the year they were born. That hurt me a little bit. Like this was literally 5 minutes before I sat at the computer and said good morning to you. So yeah.
Think about that. Yeah, when Kelly Clarkson is considered oldies, yeah, it's probably a little sign there that you're getting old. Now, I will say, I still would have done it for 15 unexcused absences. I think that is well worth
15 seconds, which isn't that long,
right? You know, for the whole song,
15 seconds. That's it. You dance for 15 seconds.
Oh, geez, like for 15 seconds, like you could pick whatever song. You could pick fucking thong song. I don't give a shit what you fucking pick.
Well, all right. So for us, we are both 1983 babies, correct?
Yeah. So what are we talking? Like Madonna, maybe?
So when I just do a quick songs of 1983, here's something. Every Breath You Take, The Police, Mr. Roboto, Styx. Let's see here. All Night Long, Lionel Richie. She Works Hard for the Money, Donna Summer. I would have had fun dancing to that one. Let's Dance, David Bowie. I mean, like you're making it more enticing as you Rock of Ages by Def Leppard. It's not dancing, but it's a good song.
No, there's some good choices there. So
Burning Down the House, Talking Heads. Yeah, I'll take that deal 1,000,000 out of 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, the problem is I'm a college dropout. I definitely did not have professors that were cool enough to be like, if you come up and dance in front of the class, you get 15 unexcused absences. And by the way, the other thing I'll add with 15 unexcused absences is I would actually like to pass the course. And at some point, like if you're just not showing up to the class for, the twice a week or however many times it meets, like it's gonna be a little tough to pass that final exam at the end of it.
And the thing is, like, yes, like we're sports guys. When the draft comes around every year, you get slapped in the face with like, born what year? But like, you kind of just put it out of your head because you're looking at it from a fantasy perspective, and all that stuff. But like, yeah, like the music thing was like, wow. But yeah, that's God, there's a lot of good songs that Give Me All Your Lovin', ZZ Top.
It was the 80s. It was the best era for music. Of course, there's a lot of good songs in 1983. Just like there's a lot of good songs in 1984 and 1985 and 1986.
Yeah.
You know what year hasn't had a lot of good songs? 2025.
I mean, granted, I'm not paying attention all that much, so I'm not going to say if there's any, but nothing's coming around. I mean, 9 Inch Nails is on the Tron sound. They done the Tron soundtrack. Deftones' new album is pretty good, but
I wasn't even thinking that. I was just thinking like what pop music's today, and like, you know what? Let's just get into the card ripping line. I like, Sabrina Carpenter isn't here to catch strays on this pod this early in the morning.
And here's the thing, like, that just goes back to the initial message, as we're feeling older, it's important to stretch. Now let's get to today's pack ripping lineup. So we got, so we're going to do a little football and a little baseball today, hockey right around the corner here. We're going to the leadoff pack today will be some 2021 score And, that rookie class, obviously, a few years in, we've changed how we evaluate who we're looking for there, but still some of the big names, Jamar Chase, Trevor Lawrence, maybe he's become a game manager, but the Jaguars are winning. Justin Fields out with a concussion this week. Not something, hoping he could bounce back. And then, you see the, 1991 throwbacks, all hands team, breakthrough dynamics, fantasy stars, freshman flashbacks, all the insert sets. Then later on, we'll do a little baseball there. And there's the one we're looking for. We're hunting a Derek Jeter rookie today. So we took one of the heavy hitter packs out, and hopefully maybe we grab that. And you're going to do some football as well.
Yeah, we're going to do these Topps 2024 signature class football cards. You see the box there, and it might be a little hard to see on that image, and the packs don't really do it any justice. I don't think I realized when I purchased these that these probably aren't NFL licensed, because like you couldn't really see like the logos on the helmets, and I'm sure once like we get into the cards, like the pack itself is pretty like plain and nondescript, so a little tough to kind of tell what exactly you have here. But they say it's premium cards, so we'll see how premium these actually are.
It's probably like the premium gasoline versus just like the regular unleaded, I would imagine. We'll see if the comparison works there. And then also we're going to debut something called the mystery pack. I went to the hobby shop recently, picked up a pack I wasn't expecting, and Jared doesn't even know it's coming, but we'll rip that open today as well.
Is it in a bag like the mystery slabs were in a bag, or is
no?
It,
it's not in a bag. I just have it separated here, but I think the pack we're doing will stand on its own. But you're right. I should have like some sort of like satch or like reveal pouch or something. Good to know for the next time I do the segment.
Right. Like I think it was late before we took our break. I did like a mystery. It was like a box of like a mystery football thing where it was like 3 mystery football packs plus a graded card as well. So
no, this isn't. It's not a mystery pack like that. I know what I'm ripping. You don't know what I'm ripping. I specifically picked the pack out, but I didn't tell you about it because I'm excited for it.
Fair enough. Like I feel like the true mystery is the fact that nobody knows what you're doing. So the fact that you're doing it is really just a mystery to me and the audience.
That's basically it right there. Now, I don't think we waste any more time. Why don't we get right into the football? Let's talk about what happened in week 2, looking ahead. Week 3, and looking ahead to week 4.
It's already week 3, buddy.
We are 1/6 of the way through the week, pretty much. Think about that. Yeah, we're already through week 3. That's
well, as Giants and Jet fans, it's 1/6 of the way of being put out of our misery.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about those. And speaking of hockey, there you see, I opened a random pack of 24-25 Upper Deck Series 1, and I just thought that was a nice looking Geno card there. I love that jersey. Let's get to the leadoff pack today, which is 2021 score. Maybe we'll actually get a nice rookie today. We'll see.
Maybe. Who knows? Only one way to find out.
Forget where I got this one. By the way, the Atlanta Falcons, I don't know if they knew this, but they had a game yesterday afternoon at 1:00 Eastern in Charlotte, and they might want to look into that.
At least as a Giants fan, I can take solace in the fact that there were other teams yesterday that were far worse than the Giants were on Sunday Night Football, with the Atlanta Falcons being prime example number 1.
Well, I mean, I think there was one player that was bad, and the rest of the team was okay. Let's start here. We got Ray Lewis with the Baltimore Ravens. They're playing the Lions on Monday Night Football tonight, and that should be a good one. That should be that's like sit down and watch turf right there. Let's see here. Levante David with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, still going strong. And this gives us a chance. Why don't we just dive right into the Bucs-Jets game yesterday? Is it going typical Sunday afternoon? All right, Jets, they're out of this game. Then they give you hope. They get the blocked field goal, Will McDonald at the end. People were giving Todd Bowles a little bit of rough because, like, he was celebrating hard. Like, listen, first-year head coach, been a bumpy, rough season. That wasn't quite the turnaround for the Jets. The Jets don't make comebacks like that very often, even though it ultimately fell short. We don't get a lot of those as Jets fans. So, like, and he knows that better than anybody. He played on the team. Anyway.
You said Todd Bowles. You meant Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn, yeah.
I knew what you meant, especially when you're talking about celebrating, because I saw the gif of it, and certainly a very gifable moment.
And Todd Bowles, he had a good post-game press conference too. That's probably why I said him, because he, again, scrolling through your phone. He dropped like a motherfucker or something like that, like in a joking way, but it was yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was just and I was talking about Tyrod Taylor with my buddy before the game. We're like, okay, like he's a competent backup. You know, he at least gives you a chance in every game. I didn't really feel that way, and you know, that just is this a Jet season where yet again I'm going to be like by Halloween, like, all right, I'm watching whatever the game of the week is, whatever the best game is in that slot versus the Jets. Like, I didn't think I was going to feel that way this year at all. I thought like they would at least be competitive bad. And I don't know. I mean, granted, listen, it's the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is one of the only quarterbacks in the league that I feel like if you're within a score, he's probably going to go down the field and win. He just has that ability. They've done it 3 times already this season. They're going to eventually burn doing that. But, you know, it's just other than the jersey combination yesterday, there wasn't a lot to like outside of that fourth quarter.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to say about that. First of all, the Jets defense is not very good. Uh, I
It's
think
not.
I think the biggest surprise with the Jets, or like from an outside observer, is just how much like Sauce Gardner's regressed to the fact that like he's being picked on now by opposing quarterbacks. Like, and you know, I heard somebody else saying this, and I couldn't agree with it more. Like, what does Sauce Gardner do well right now? Because like he
Yeah.
doesn't really cover anybody, and he doesn't really tackle anybody. So what exactly is he like? He got his money, so like, did he just secure the bag and now he's just mailing it in? Like, I don't know what he's doing right there, but that's not here nor there. I mean, I feel like it's about what he expected from the Jets. I mean, you've had 2 quote unquote competitive games, but like I don't know how competitive you want to call yesterday's game. Like, yeah, they obviously they had the lead late, but you know, they kind of took the lead like I don't
Well,
want to say in a fluky manner, but like I don't really have a better way to put it. Like, but um so there's all that. I will say from a Bucks perspective, Baker Mayfield's a top 5 quarterback. Like, can we, you know, enough of some of these BS quarterback rankings? Like, not only is Baker a top 5 quarterback, but like, I think he's a quarterback. Like, if you don't have a top 5 quarterback, he's the type of quarterback that like fans of like the other like 27 teams or so look at and they're like, yeah, I want that guy quarterback in my team because like he's tough, he's gritty, like he's a leader, like he finds ways to win these games late. Like, it's exactly what you want. Like, I mean, the Cleveland Browns could certainly use a quarterback like that. So, good job by them letting that guy out the door
and
there. So,
And just to add to the point about Baker in the post-game press conference yesterday, he said 2 things. One, he's like, it was our fault for leaving the door open for the Jets because every time we got down in the red zone, we were taking 3s instead of 7. So like he's real about how the game goes. And then he still has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he mentioned also how it was personal because Steve Wilkes is on the coaching
yeah,
staff over there, and he was the guy that cut him in Carolina. You know, everybody loves to look at the Browns as like, oh yeah, they let Baker go. Who has Carolina had since since Cam Newton, excuse me. Like they had him, he was there. They totally mismanaged him. I don't blame the Rams because like I feel like Sean McVay thinks he could take me or you and make us into a halfway serviceable quarterback. He's just that kind of guy. So like
he needed that Ram stop to kind of like build his confidence back up. So, yeah, I don't blame the Rams for letting him go. But
and, and it worked out
everybody
well
else,
for them because
yeah.
he, you know, we all remember he flew in on Wednesday for a Thursday game or whatever it was, and
And he balled out on that Thursday night game with like
yeah.
0 prep time and not knowing the playbook.
So yeah, I listen. Find me a Baker Mayfield hater. Like unless like if you're not a Saints, Panthers, or Falcons fan, like I don't know why you would hate this guy. Like yeah, he's just impressive. But yeah, back to the Jets. It's you know, and this week you know they go to Miami on Monday Night Football. The Dolphins uniforms are hideous. But this week, if you haven't seen what they're wearing, they almost look like Miami Marlin jerseys in a way. Yeah, I mean that's a coin flip game right now because yeah, Miami stinks, but they showed some heart in the loss in Buffalo on a short week. Who knows who's going to be quarterback in this week? If Fields will be cleared from the protocol. Either way, it's you know that Steelers game was fun, and you remember on this very show a couple of weeks ago, I was like, hey, that's a good start to the season. It's starting to go the other way real quick. We got let's see here, Patrick Surtain, the second rookie card there in the Alabama Crimson Tide gear. The Broncos yesterday lose a tough one to the Chargers. The Chargers looking for real, starting 3-0 in the division out of the gate. That's impressive. Let's see, we got here. We got a Victor Dimukeji Duke card. Rookie, I couldn't say a thing about him.
Nope. I have no idea who he is, and I know who a lot of the players are in the league. So,
Well, we'll go to Nick Bolton here. Excuse me, as I accidentally knocked the camera away. Rookie card, put a picture with the Missouri Tigers there. Let's see here. DeAndre Hopkins, picture with the Cardinals, of course, now with the Ravens. We talked about that playing on Monday Night Football. All right, here, the Carolina. Oh, DJ Moore. We could talk about his current team and his former team with this one. The Bears. I thought they would beat the Cowboys yesterday. That was like just like a perfect like spot for like if the Bears couldn't beat the Cowboys at home, it was going to be a long season. And now no CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys, but I'm not like saying like, oh, the Bears are going to the playoffs now, but it was nice to see like the Bears actually function as a team for an entire game and win a game they should win.
That game pissed me off more as a Giants fan because you saw how easily the Bears were just throwing the ball deep against the Cowboys, and not so much that the Giants didn't do that against the Cowboys because they certainly did, but like when you see how easy it is, it's like, well, why don't you just do this the whole game? Why check down? Like, why? What are we doing? Just throw it deep because their safeties can't move.
Are we ready to talk about the Giants yet? Or are we going to save that for later, perhaps?
Oh, we'll save it for later. I got a lot I want to say about the Giants.
Now, on the flip side, the Carolina Panthers yesterday, you know, maybe that was more the Falcons handing them the game, you know, based on the way Penix played.
Probably, yeah.
But nonetheless, listen. You can be handed something, you still got to take it across the finish line, or you know what I mean. So, and the Panthers did that 30-0. I mean, right now that NFC South, to me, it's Tampa's to lose. I know they've won 3 close games, and you know, you look at the Texans and you look at the Jets, and you go, no, those aren't necessarily good teams. And Tampa had and hey, even the Falcons week 1. I mean, it's a road division game to me. That's still an impressive win. Yeah, like, you know, we'll see what happens when Tampa plays Philly at home this week. They get their first real test. It's at home. Philly struggled against Tampa recently, so we'll see. We got Carl Lawson with the Bengals there. You know, Bengals, you know, for all the confidence that Zach Taylor had in Jake Browning all week, didn't go that well.
I mean, that game got out of hand really fast. So there is that. But yeah, you can't have give up 2 long defensive touchdowns and expect to win the game either. So kind of is what it is. They got to do a better job of a running the ball because Chase Brown has not been very good this year, and they got to do a better job of finding a way to get the ball into their best players' hands.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Taylor said that in the post-game press conference too. He acknowledged that the running game stinks, but like, yes, that's a part of the problem. But I mean, it's going to become a lost season in Cincinnati real quick. Got the Texans we talked about here with Zach Cunningham. We got, let's see, a couple more cards in the pack. Corey Davis here with the Tennessee Titans. Titans not look great against the Colts yesterday, but we can kind of use that to segue into, you know, are you buying like the Colts for real? Like, I mean, at this point, they're probably going to win the division. I mean, Texans don't look good. Titans are not ready. The Jaguars look just good enough to kind of hang around, but not really. I mean, they win the division. I don't know what they do in the playoffs, but I mean, right now, Jonathan Taylor's having a monster start to the season. The Colts defense looks really strong.
I mean, who have the Colts beaten?
Titans, the Broncos at home.
The Broncos, who might not be very good when all is said and done. That's the best of the 3 teams they've beaten. The Dolphins, who might be the worst team in the league this year, and the Titans, who picked number 1 last year and are also in the running for being the worst team in the league. And like I'm supposed to throw a parade now for Daniel Jones because they beat some of the worst teams in the league. Like, really? Is that what we're doing now?
I mean, that's the thing. Like this week, they go and play the Rams. Like that's a test right there. Let's see what you do on the road against a solid defense. You know, with offense that can put points on the board.
Yeah, and when they lose 34-10, like can we finally put a pin in this Daniel Jones better without the Giants balloon that's been sort of blown up over the last couple of weeks?
If they win, though, will you change your tune a little bit?
No, absolutely not. Because I've seen enough of Daniel Jones to know he's a fraud. Like right now, he's a fraud.
Speaking of frauds, Drew Lock, score team there.
You know how I know the Colts are frauds? Drew Lock fucking beat them last year.
And then we wrap this pack. I don't love this pack, but this was this is a cool one to close on here. It's a 3D insert with Troy Polamalu, Jack Lambert, and TJ Watt. So 3 generations there. Crazy to think TJ Watt and Troy Polamalu are different generations, but they are.
Yeah, they are. They are different generations.
But that's a good one to end the pack on right there. Steelers, you know, take care of business. Maybe it wasn't their best effort in New England, but they get the win, and then now they're off to Dublin to play the Vikings. are you buying that Carson Wentz is going to keep them competent, or are you? Are they? I mean, listen, I don't know if the Steelers could give them a rude awakening, and those Europe games are always weird because it's like no true home advantage. Everybody's traveling far.
I don't know how much I'm buying Carson Wentz yet. I mean, I probably need to see a bigger sample size of that. And it's interesting the next couple of weeks that the Vikings are playing a couple of road games overseas because they're playing this week and they're playing. I forget who they're playing week 5 in either Dublin or Madrid or London or wherever the hell they're playing these games. The NFL plays so many damn international games now; it's tough to keep track of them all.
Well, the Vikings are there for 2 straight weeks because then they play in London
That's what I'm
against
saying.
Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure how much I'm buying the Vikings yet.
Yeah. Again, another team they beat the Bears week 1 when the Bears did not look great. Then week 2, what did Minnesota do? I forget. It's already at that point in the season. I know they lost, but
they lost to the Falcons on Sunday night.
Sunday night. That's right. Yeah. So we'll see. Now, Jared's got some Tops football we're going to get cracking to here. Why don't we? It may not be the NFL licensed, but could still be good looking cards. Could still have some nice hits there.
Yeah, I don't think they are NFL licensed, but we'll find out momentarily together. So we are going to start. Yeah, these are definitely not NFL licensed, but I mean that's fine. We start with a couple legends here. We start with the Ray Lewis card as well. You can tell they're not NFL licensed. They don't have the logos on the helmets. So
that is weird that we both pulled Ray Lewis's to start.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And the Ravens.
I also pull a Steelers legend as well with James Harrison, another one, an absolute psycho of a player.
Yeah, I would imagine if you were an offensive tackle the week leading up to playing the Steelers when he was there, you probably didn't get a whole lot of sleep.
Is this whole card this whole pack legends? Because right now I got Jerry Rice. I mean, this is 2024, and then I follow up with Chad Ochocinco.
Which is nice, but we're looking for.
I mean, literally, this whole pack's the last one's not. We got a nice refractor here of our guy Rich Gannon here.
Yeah, that was those 2002 Raiders, man. Every game but the Super Bowl, they balled out.
I'll have to put this one aside. We might have to call in a favor and get Rich Gannon to sign that one for me. Yeah. Let's see. Drew Brees here.
Saints did not look good in Seattle yesterday. I did not have to sweat my survivor pick with the Seahawks at all. That game was over basically halfway through the first quarter.
And if you play in a normal fantasy football league, this is going to be the guy that everybody scrambles to spend all their fab and get on the waiver wire this week. Trey Benson, your running back for your Arizona Cardinals after the season-ending injury to James Conner.
Unfortunate for Connor, especially for a guy who had, had an injury-prone label, but then last year played the whole season, had a really good year. The tough way for him to go down, and we'll see how the Cardinals bounce back. They got a short week too. They're hosting the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football.
Oh God, that's the Thursday night game this week.
That could be one of those games where, yes, you have the reaction that you have, but ends up actually being an entertaining game.
Yep. So I guess my one gripe with these cards is they went a little overboard with some of the legends because we're in pack 2 now. I'm gonna do 3 packs of this. Barry Sanders,
and Lions,
the Lions play the Monday night game this week. Ricky Williams.
See what the Dolphins do this week on Monday Night Football against the Jets, because if they lose that game at home, that could potentially be if you lose to the Jets at home, I would expect to be fired if I was Mike McDaniel.
Yep. Let's see. Terrell Owens here depicted as a Philadelphia Eagle or a Philadelphia player, I suppose, not a Philadelphia Eagle. They don't have the license for it. Let's see. Doug Williams in the old creamsicle uniform there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Buccaneers wearing their all white creamsicle look yesterday. That was sharp.
Yep. Let's see. Sean Alexander, one-time NFL MVP. And maybe the single worst fantasy pick I've ever made in a fantasy football.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No. Sean Alexander, because I took Sean Alexander first overall after his MVP year, and he never quite reached those heights again. And that was the year LaDainian Tomlinson scored 27 touchdowns. Yeah. Let's see. And then we get into a couple rookie cards here. with Theo Johnson with the Giants, and this one's funny just because you look at the name and the number on the back of that, and it's just funny how poorly photoshopped that is.
I mean, that looks like I did that.
And Ray Davis with the Buffalo Bills.
0 for 1 on rushing attempts Thursday Night Football. I'm glad I gave out the proper 0.5 rushing yards for that one.
Yeah. So these cards kind of, I don't want to say stink, but
disappointing.
Probably not quite what I was expecting. I figured there'd be a little more modern guys than what we've gotten so far. All right, so we get some more Steelers legends here. This is our last pack today. Jerome Bettis here and Troy Polamalu.
Well, if you're a Steeler fan, you're certainly getting your money's worth today.
Oh, you certainly are. Lawrence Taylor, who last time we saw him was at the North Carolina box during the Bill Belichick coaching debut for North Carolina against TCU.
That's going well.
Yep. Let's see. Fred Taylor, very good running back in his day with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to match your Steelers special card there, and I'm going to raise you a Troy Polamalu, James Harrison refractor card.
Wow, it really is. It's all Steelers all the time on this week's Rip N Riff.
Apparently, and we have 2 rookie cards to finish the pack. One good one okay-ish one. Jalen McMillan with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is okay-ish. I mean, it's basically their 4th receiver when everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
And the quote-unquote good one would be Bo Nix with the Denver Broncos, who obviously lost to the Chargers yesterday in that late afternoon window.
You pretty much closed with a Broncos quarterback, and so did I. This is getting a little eerie here.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It is a little weird. Oh, and I found that Todd Bowles quote that had me thinking of him when he was asked about what was going through his mind as Will McDonald was heading into the end zone. Quote, "Excuse my language, but you got to fucking be shitting me." Then after that, we see how much time's on the clock, calm down, and win the game. So, cool little candid reaction there from Todd Bowles. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to fight an area when you're winning.
And by the way, you talk about Todd Bowles. I'm sorry, you talked about Baker Mayfield and being very aware of being a revenge spot with Steve Wilkes in the other sideline and all that. You don't think Todd Bowles wanted that game a little bit more, coaching against his former team?
I completely agree. And, pardon the pun, but I mean, the greener pastures are usually away from the Jets, and Todd Bowles has learned that. Now, we haven't had, so packs we've had have not been great so far, but we're going to do a little, it's time for the mystery pack. So let's see if we can save the show. Let's see what pack we're revealing today. Yes, we have the first hockey pack of the season here, 2025-26 Upper Deck MVP. I went to go buy like some of the top loaders for the thicker cards at the local hobby shop. And I saw they were selling these loose behind the counter. I'm like, I'm not a big MVP guy, but you know what? I'm going to grab one. Let's get the hockey season going here. Let's get that palette going as teams are skating this week, and that's pretty exciting. There we go. Let's see what we got. Okay, so first out of the pack here, we've got Mr. Sam Reiner. Now, looking at these are pretty glossy. They're not like overly glossy. It's actually not a bad look. I like them. I'm not an MVP guy, but I like the looks of the feel of them. Let's see what we got here. We got okay. Are you somebody that thinks the Sabres should bring those back full time?
No, not full time. I mean, they should definitely have them in the rotation. I would have them and the Buffalo Slug jerseys in the rotation that they had in like the mid 2000s. And I know people like to shit them, but you know what? The last time the Sabres were good, and the last time they were a regular playoff team, those were the jerseys they were wearing. So, who am I to question it?
That was the skate in the crease era Sabre jerseys. Let's see what we got here. Now, Josh Norris, by the way, he should be their second line center there in Buffalo for sure. Drew Doughty, getting up there. Andrei Kopitar, his longtime teammate there with the Kings Part of the Foundation, announced this will be his last season, and good for him. He's going to be one of those guys where like you're going to look at his stat line at the end of the season and be like, "Why are you retiring again?" He's just that good of a player.
Well, I'm sure he's retiring because he's 38. He's made enough money, and he wants to go and enjoy living in Southern California for the rest of his life with a young family. So I totally understand that.
Oh, I understand, but it's just like your stat line. You look at it.
And by the way, I probably not that far away from Drew Doughty next year, doing the same thing. Also, though, it was interesting the timing of Drew Doughty. Not Drew Doughty. Anse Kopitar and Clayton Kershaw announcing their retirements on the same day.
Maybe they're gonna go have like a nice dinner somewhere in LA, like two new retirees, champions of the town, Andre.
Well, I mean, they both won championships in that town, so like in theory, they should be able to, never have to pay for a meal anywhere. Now it is LA, so I suppose it's possible nobody recognizes either one of them, but you never know.
People recognize Kershaw, I think, for sure. Kopitar probably would by himself wouldn't get recognized, but if he's sitting at a table with Clayton Kershaw and you're like, oh yeah, you play for the Kings, don't you? Like that kind of thing. But yeah, if I don't know if you want to do if it's a king, like to me, Kopitar belongs on a Kings Mount Rushmore for sure. He's he delivered multiple cups, long fixture there, top line center there for well over a decade. I mean, the guy just does everything. I do think the Kings might decline a little bit this year. I mean, maybe that's another thing too. He sees the team. They can't get out of the first round. Can't beat Edmonton. I've had enough. Let's see. We got Miro Haskin in here, one of the favorites out west this season, the Dallas Stars. See how the landscape changes if he can stay healthy through the whole season. We got back-to-back Lightning here, Connor Geeky, then Anthony Cirelli. Then we have Matt Boldy there with the Minnesota Wild. Second best winger on the Wild after Kaprizov. It's going to be an interesting Central Division this year because there's a lot of good teams there with Dallas and Winnipeg and Colorado and Minnesota. So it's going to be tough sledding there.
Yeah, it'll be highly competitive. Can't wait to see how it plays out.
And also St. Louis, can't forget about them. They took Winnipeg, pretty tough last year. And you know what? You can't forget about this team either. Got a little Clayton Keller signature inlay here with the Utah Hockey Club. This year they'll officially be the Mammoth. But, they had J.J. Peterka. If the defensemen can stay healthy this year, they were pretty banged up on the blue line last year for a long stretch of the season. Maybe even Utah could maybe threaten a playoff spot. So, there we go. We got a little 2025, 26 Upper Deck MVP. And I also had, you buy like a tin of cards or a box of cards. They give you like one of those extra like 3-card packs. I got a little 2024 Upper Deck Series 1. I took it out of the tin. We'll just add that to the pile here. Why not?
Sure. Why not? Add to the pile.
It's 3 cards here. Let's see. Maybe I'll get a contender for pulls of the day coming up in a little bit. All right. So it's three Dazzlers here. We've got Brock Nelson of the aforementioned Colorado Avalanche. He's the orange parallel Dazzlers. We got Nazem Kadri there with the Calgary Flames. Dustin Wolf, a popular goalie pick in fantasy drafts this year. And then we talked about the Blues here. Here's the guy that drives the offense along with Robert Thomas, Mr. Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah, the one thing I'm going to say about the league in general, we'll probably dive into this more in a couple weeks when we really do like a hockey preview show once the season's really about to start. There are far too many teams in this league that think they're contenders and aren't actually close to contending for a championship. And I feel like teams like Calgary, St. Louis, Utah, sort of fall into that envelope. I would include like Minnesota as well. I'd have to do a little bit of a deeper dive because it's still very early, but there's a lot of teams that I don't think are going to be very good, but they think they're going to be very good, and I think they're in for a rude awakening this season.
When you say that, one of the first teams that comes to mind for me is Ottawa. I think would fall into that category.
That they would take a step back. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see Montreal taking a step back. I don't really trust any of those newer Atlantic teams. I don't trust any of them. Like, to me, they're kind of interchangeable. And they sort of benefited from the fact that the East wasn't all that deep last year. So, like in terms of like in the East, like which teams are going to be contending for playoff spots, like those are going to be the playoff spots that those teams are targeting. It's going to be like the Ottawas and Montreals of the world.
See, for me, a full season of Ivan Demidov in Montreal definitely gives them a little bit more hope that they can maybe at least repeat finishing, we'll say 8th in the East last year. If you're going by traditional format, and maybe even surpass that. But yeah, you need Samuel Montembeau to be very, have a good season. There's a lot, they did add Noah Dobson on the blue line too. So
yeah, I mean, look, they made some good additions, but also like they don't have a second line center. Jake Evans kind of had a career year last year, and he's sort of I don't want to say overplaying his hand, but like he's certainly outplayed expectations last year. I'm not sure how sustainable that's going to be. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, can Lane Hudson learn how to defend? Like,
as a defenseman,
kind of matters.
It helps when you're getting 60 plus assists, but yeah, at some point, that you're gonna have to learn that aspect of the game as well, at least at an NHL level. Mason McTavish would be an excellent second line center in Montreal if they could figure out a way to get that done with Anaheim. We all know he wants out of there, so I'm sure that's been thrown around at least a little bit, but maybe they can work something out.
I mean, if I were Anaheim, why would I trade McTavish?
He wants out. They can't get something done. So I mean, listen, Pat Verbeek is probably, I'm not going to say rigid, but he knows what he wants to do, and see.
Yeah, he's the shrewdest negotiator GM in the league, except for when it comes time for him to bend over and take it from Chris Drury and then take on the Rangers crap for nothing.
Kreider, Trouba. I mean, Kreider.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's becoming where, like, we used to joke around the Rangers would go to Tampa Bay, but they still had life left in them when they went to Tampa Bay. Now they're going out to Anaheim for the
Rangers would go to Tampa Bay for the dumping ground for their contracts. Then they went to Utah for a while. Well, Arizona before they moved to Utah. And now they've settled into like that whole San Jose and Anaheim, California swing there.
Listen, I guess it pays. Chris Dreer and Mike Greer and Chris Drury were buddies and they were teammates. So sometimes that helps you out later in life and later in your career, and it certainly helps.
I guess it must be nice.
I am excited to watch the Sharks this year. I'm very excited to make the trip. The amount of trips I'm making down to San Jose this year. Michael Misa, another Yaroslav Askarov's first full season. Be nice.
Yep, they should be better. I don't think they're a playoff team yet, but they should be better.
They're not a playoff team, but they're a team that, like, they're going to lose, but they should be competitive in most of those games. The era of the 11-1 blowouts should be behind them. That should not happen this year. Not to say you can't lose in a blowout fashion, but there should be no more of those. Wow, the other team scored double-digit goals. Okay,
right, and they finally gotten like a lot of those albatross contracts off their books, like Vlasic and a lot of those the old guard, and like Logan Couture has basically said he's not playing anymore, and
no, he's done.
Right, so yeah, I mean, they got to take their medicine cap wise, I guess, for one more year, because like they took on the Carey Price contract for whatever reason. I don't know why they did it, but yeah, I mean they're on their way. They got work to do, but they're on their way.
My first game of the year will be in November when Ottawa comes to town, Saturday afternoon game. I'm excited to not watch the Senators, but just to get down there and watch some live hockey for the first time since March, I think. Yeah. All right. So we start off this 1993 Pinnacle Baseball Series 2 with an expansion draft pick here of the Florida Marlins, Mr. Charlie Huff. He was already old when he got there. He was he was part of the pitching rotation.
I don't recall the expansion draft for the Florida Marlins, so I don't recall Charlie Huff being an expansion draft selection of them. But the only expansion draft stuff I remember from the 90s is that like Quentin McCracken was a draft pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and it's just because he had a cool name.
I used to play triple play baseball 2001 all the time. Yeah, we're gonna age ourselves here. That was when they had Sammy Sosa on the cover, and Quentin McCracken was a beast in that game. Eric Young, speaking of expansion draft picks there, the Colorado Rockies. So there we go. You may remember this guy.
And now they got an expansion level team, and it's only 30-something years later.
I mean, they did get a couple of World Series appearances in their run, but it's gonna be a long time.
They got one World Series appearance in their run, and they got their doors blown off against the Red Sox in 2007.
I thought they won a second time, but I could be wrong. Scott Kamenecki with the Yankees, who was actually a pretty solid starter for them back when they were terrible, but he was actually pretty good. See here. Got 93 rookie prospect Dan Peltier of the Rangers. whoop-de-doo. Alan Embry rookie prospect card with the Cleveland team. Let's see here. We've got Tim Cruz, who I believe passed away in a boating accident with Bob Ojeda and somebody else back in the day. We have a Shannon Stewart first-round draft pick rookie card. He was a good outfielder, Shannon Stewart.
Yeah, pretty good. And then he wound up working for like the A's and or didn't he become an agent? I forget what Shannon Stewart wound up becoming. I think he wound up becoming like an agent, and then he worked for like the Oakland A's, or I don't remember exactly the whole timeline with that. But yeah, shout out to Shannon Stewart.
He was also very good in Triple Play Baseball 2001. We pull that, but since that's trash because it's John Wetland, we throw it away. We don't have time for trash human beings on this show.
Did you enjoy the fact that when I say you the care package, there were all the John Wetland cards in it?
Yeah, that was that went in the recycling pail. Well, I gave one to the cat to play with.
Nice.
We got
the real gift was the top loader. You just take the card out of it. You use the top loader.
Exactly. Thank you for the top loader, man. You never have too many top loaders. You know that. We got Lou Whitaker here with the Detroit Tigers. Lonnie Smith with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're not getting a Jeter rookie. That's not happening. Let's see here. We got Tim Belcher, Cincinnati Reds.
Well, I thought it was weird when he wrote 1993 cards on that because Jeter didn't debut until 96. So,
but his first, there are Jeter cards, and there is because the guy at the store said it. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. And then Series 2, and then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, there he is. So it's a prospect card. Let's see here. We got Ramon Martinez, Pedro's older brother, who was actually pretty good until Pedro started becoming Pedro, and then everybody forgot about Ramon.
Shout out to Ramon.
Shout out to the older brother. We got Alex Fernandez, who was also a pretty good pitcher for the White Sox in his day. Shout out Billy Z. I mean, I can't imagine he's spending too much time watching White Sox baseball here.
You watching this week when they come to the Bronx and play the Yankees as they play out the spring.
Yeah, that would be the polite way to put it for the White Sox. And then we have the idols here, John Valentine and Dave Concepcion. It's a cool-looking card, for an ultimate Red Sox fan. Maybe they'd love that one. And then we close the pack with the Yankee. One of the better names of the 90s, Andy Stankiewicz.
Andy Stankiewicz. Wow. I haven't thought about that player in a long time.
You know who else had a good name from that era? Alvaro Espinosa.
I was going to say Andy Fox, but yes.
Andy Fox, also a good one. They before the Yankees got good, they were bad for a while.
They were bad, but they had some fun players.
Yes. Back in they had like Roberto Kelly, Danny Tartable, that last era of Yankees before they got good again. So unfortunately, no Jeter rookie here. What do we got for polls of the day today? I mean, for me, it's got to be either TJ Watt, Jack Lambert, Troy Polamalu, 3D, or probably one of these dazzlers here. But I mean, none of these dazzlers are big name players. I guess Jordan Kyrou or maybe the Clayton Keller parallel. Either way, not stiff competition for me today.
You said stiff. I'm gonna go with. I think for me it's a clear choice. I'm just noticing now this card was numbered, by the way, 139 of 175. I'm going with our guy Rich Gannon here.
Yeah, it's a numbered card. He's our guy. There's too many reasons for that to be the poll of the day. So there you go. You win the poll of the day. It's anytime it's a numbered card, pretty much is going to have a chance to beat anything.
Nice. I'm going to take a picture of that and send it to him and see if he says anything.
Now, let's see here. You got we'll close the show talking football. Our friend Mike Riker said he enjoyed when we did our three-way parlay segment a couple of weeks ago. So I'm looking at the I'm looking at the schedule for this week, and this is off the top of our heads here. This is not researched picks here. I'm gonna probably stay away from the Thursday night game. I don't like touching overseas games because you never know how that's gonna go. Eagles are 2.5-point favorites at Tampa. Maybe if Tampa was getting a little more, I would take the points. Saints 15.5. Bills 15.5-point favorites over the Saints. That makes sense.
It makes sense. I'm not going to lay 15.5 points.
I'm not laying 15.5. Correct. The total 48.5. Maybe the under because the Bills just build an early lead and then just, Saints can't do anything. So maybe I would put the under in the maybe pile there. Lions 8.5-point favorites against the Browns at home. Commanders 3-point road favorites at the Falcons. Texans are 7-point favorites at home to the Titans. Ooh, that's a lot of points. I might take the Titans with 7 there. Chargers -6 at the Giants. Patriots 5.5-point favorites at home against Carolina. Rams 3.5-point favorites against the Colts. I think I know one of your picks already. 49ers 3.5-point favorites over the Jaguars. Ravens 2.5-point road favorites at Kansas City. Bears are 1.5-point road favorites at the Raiders. Definitely not touching that one. Packers 5.5-point road favorites at the Cowboys. Then if you're looking at Monday Night Football, Dolphins 2.5-point home favorites against the Jets, and then the Broncos 7.5-point home favorites against the Bengals. What's jumping out at you?
Yeah, there's a few that jump out. I would take the 2.5 with the Steelers playing that game in wherever they're playing it, Dublin. I think that game's in Ireland.
It's in Dublin, correct.
I should actually bother to look it up, but I feel like Aaron Rodgers is sort of on a mission to prove that he still has something left in the tank. And I think he's showing that he does have a little bit left in the tank. Now, it is a tough matchup against that Vikings defense that can get after it. And I could very well regret that pick at 10 in the morning when that defense is all over Aaron Rodgers and Rodgers can't move. But it's very much I think the Steelers could win the game outright pick. So the fact that they're getting points, I'm just going to take the 2.5 there. So that one jumps out. Let me look a little bit further. I like the Bucks plus 2.5 against the Eagles. I feel like this Eagles team just sort of pulled a rabbit out of their hat yesterday with that game. And if that game's close late and the Bucks have the ball, I feel like Baker's going to go down the field and get a score. So the fact that they're giving me 2.5 points there, I kind of like that one. I kind of like laying the 2.5 points with the Ravens against the Chiefs, even though I hate betting against Patrick Mahomes. I just don't think this Chiefs team's very good. This might be a jumping off point for us to talk about the Giants as well. If the Giants played a halfway competent football game yesterday, they should have beaten the Chiefs. But the quarterback single-handedly sabotaged the effort.
We didn't get any Chiefs or Giants cards. So yeah, let's do it here. We got a few more minutes before we can wrap things up here on this edition of Rip N Riff. All I want to say is on that 4th down series of the 4 downs at the end of the game.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just got a text from our guy, Rich Gannon, who I sent him a picture of the card. He just wrote back, sweet.
Nice. Good to hear from Rich Gannon there, former NFL MVP. I'll say this. I don't know why, but I cracked up laughing for a good 30 seconds when that last pass hit the crossbar. What? I just started laughing hysterically.
Why are you throwing the ball away on 4th down? And that entire sequence was atrocious. And yet that entire sequence was probably the 5th most egregious thing that Russ did in that game. He's just underthrowing guys on the deep ball. He nearly got Malik Neighbors killed on that one play. It's one thing if you're going to be bad. It's another thing if you're going to get your best players hurt too. And there's just no feel, no rhythm to the game. And I don't understand why the Giants are just wasting their time here with Russell Wilson when, obviously he had a good week last week. And I get that you don't necessarily want to throw Jackson Dart into the fire, but Jackson Dart can't possibly be any worse than this. And I don't buy the argument that oh, he's not ready. He's going to get killed behind that offensive line. It's you know what? This is the NFL. There's your situation is not going to be perfect. No matter when you play, you're always going to be dealing with, going up against a good team or going up against a team with a pass rush or having guards who can't block or anything. If that game was begging for Dable to make the change here and kind of give the Giants, in front of their home crowd in their home opener, by the way, a spark, a little kick in the pants there, a little bit of energy, and they just refuse to do it. And you got a little bit of it with Cam Scatterbo, and I'm not saying I mean, Cam Sago is the Giants' best running back, with all due respect to Tyrone Tracy. And, it's a bummer that Tyrone Tracy got hurt yesterday, but like, Cam Scabbo's an energy player. Like, there's no better, there's just as, I don't know if it's the whole white running back or just the fact he runs angry or what it is, but like, there's just a whole like vibe, like when
he's
he's in the game and he's doing things.
He's just the way he runs, like you said, it's just like an aggressive. It's fun to watch too, because when he's one of those running backs where if he gets to the line of scrimmage, he's going to get 2 yards. Like he's just one of those guys. Like he's very rarely going to get stopped for no gain or a loss, unless somebody just really sniffs out the play. But yeah, like I can understand maybe holding off one more week on Jackson Dart because you got the Chargers coming to town and they're a good. Maybe that's not who you want to make your debut against, and
yeah, it's a good defense. Like you don't necessarily want to do that, but like
the week after when you go to New Orleans,
right? When you're down 14-3 at the half next week against the Chargers, and you're getting booed off the field, like what are you going to do then? Like at some point, you got to take the training wheels off.
And maybe that's what it'll be. Maybe it'll be a halftime, like, hey, no spark on the offense. Still, we got to do something. And the thing is, once you go to that move, I don't think you can go back to Russell Wilson, but I don't think anybody cares. And here's the thing that I don't get.
Russell Wilson's not going to be here next year. He's 37 years old. Who gives a shit about Russell Wilson?
But this is the thing I don't get. If you're Brian Daboll and you're trying to save your job, what has Russell Wilson done this year that makes you think that is the better path of me potentially keeping my job versus throwing Jackson Dart out there? And if he shows any sort of progress, all of a sudden the Giants, they beat the Saints, in a couple of weeks in his first start, let's say. And they rattle off some wins that, listen, nobody's saying like, oh, he's going to lead them to the playoffs, but maybe instead of being like a 2-15 or 3-14, you're, 6-11 or something like that, because he was able to get something to look forward to the next year and show like, hey, I got something out of this guy. Maybe you should keep me around and not change things on a young quarterback. To me, that's your better path to keeping your job than throwing Russell Wilson out there that, like you saw what happened you all saw what happened in the game yesterday. He didn't do anything to get the offense going. And when they did have a chance to maybe creep back into the game and have a chance, that's what was done. No, it's not fun.
And like I've generally given Daboll the benefit of the doubt, but like yesterday, like they're going for it on fourth down when they shouldn't. They're not going for it on fourth down when they should. Like that decision not to punt on 4th and 4 with the ball at midfield when you're already down 10. Like what the hell are you doing? Like grow a set and go for it. You're going to go for it earlier in the game, but you're not going to go for it here. Like what are we doing here?
And here's another thing, and I understand with Graham Gano, like, okay, like, it's a kicker, and like to lose your kicker before the game to a groin.
How does this keep happening in the Giants where they play these games with an injured kicker?
And people like, oh, it's only kicker. No, that does affect your game plan, because now it's like, oh, we get a touchdown, and now we're kind of forced to go for 2 if we, or he can only kick from inside of like 30 yards or something like that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to like oversimplify the position, but I feel like somebody else on the team should be able to kick field goals from 35 or better, and it shouldn't, like, if it's the punter, if it's a 5th wide receiver that kicked in high school or whatever the case may. I don't know. I just feel like I understand losing a kicker is tough, and at past a certain distance, you can't, you're forced to go for it. But or if it's that detrimental, maybe you need to find a kicker that doesn't get hurt.
Well, that's the other thing too, is your kicker's 38 years old. Like, I don't know, maybe try to find a younger kicker.
And that's the thing. I understand with the groin, you can't kick, you can't plant, you can't. I get it, but is there a reason you're hanging on to a 38-year-old kicker? I don't know. So you got the Steelers plus 2.5 at -105. The Bucks with the points 2.5 plus 100, and then Baltimore laying the 2.5 on the road at KC -110. I almost want to take that one too.
Yeah, I like those. If I were going to take a 4th, I'd probably take the Chargers -6.
Chargers -6 at the Giants will put as your other alternate, just in case, like, so that way we can be like, oh, you should have that one instead. But when you lose it on one swing, I like the Ravens on the road, but I do think if anything wakes the Chiefs up, it's Lamar Jackson coming to your building, nationally televised game, all that stuff. For me, the 3 I'm going to go with this week. I'll start with the Titans +7 -110 at Houston. Tell me, so if you get -3 for being at home, like, which is like the standard rule of thumb, what have the Texans done this season to prove they deserve 4 more points on top of that? against a Titans team that, listen, they hung tough against Denver. I know Denver's not that great. The Rams, did what they should have did against them. The Rams are a much better team. Tennessee yesterday, Colts come in. Colts are a good team. I don't know. I just feel like that 7 is a lot for the Texans to cover. I feel like Tennessee can keep that one close, even if they don't win.
Right. My general rule of thumb is when two garbage teams are playing each other, you just take the points.
And 7's not nothing. Then speaking of the Rams who beat them in week 2, I'll lay the 3.5 at home here with the Colts. And that's not a disrespectful play. I still think the Colts are a decent team and they'll play tough, but I just think I think the Rams can win by 4 points. I'm not going that one. I feel pretty confident in. And then last, the San Francisco 49ers laying 3.5 at home against the Jaguars. More of a pick against the Jaguars versus, they're probably going to have Brock Purdy back next week. And yeah, things were tough against the Cardinals yesterday, but the Cardinals always play them tough. Doesn't matter what, Kyler Murray he hasn't beaten them a bunch, but he keeps games close against them. Jacksonville, yeah, I know they got the win against Houston yesterday, but they struggled. They not barely beat the Panthers, but probably should have beaten them better in week 1. And then week 2 with the Bengals, obviously Bengals aren't looking as good right now. So I'm okay with laying laying 3.5 with the Niners there. And I think San Francisco gets to 4-0.
Would you consider taking the 2.5 for the Jets on Monday night against the Dolphins?
Who's at quarterback?
I don't care.
See, this is where we find out if the Dolphins players actually love Mike McDaniel.
Or trying hard. They tried hard on Thursday night against the Bills, and it wasn't nearly enough. This might be the game where they all quit.
Because the thing is, okay, you're playing the Bills early, short week, division game. Buffalo's good. All right, if we can beat the Bills, you know what I mean? You get it up for a team like Buffalo. You're going to get it up for the same way for Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor coming to town? I don't think so. So yeah, that would be my alternate, but I don't like to pick the Jets for anything. They're not giving me much hope of anything right now. YouTube at Jared Moore Poker for all your poker content shorts.
Oh yeah.
All about the jersey.com. I'm sure you're going to be ramping up that Devils coverage real soon here.
Yeah, I already wrote a bunch of words, more of a general team building philosophy thing, but yeah, they need to be more aggressive in terms of adding win now type players. So that'll be the theme this week.
I completely agree. Okay, this is the year where it's all right, if we're going to compete, time to show that we're going to do it. Maybe the Timo Meyer acquisition didn't work out as well as hoped, but there's still plenty they can do to make the team better and get them up into the upper echelon of the East because they're right there. And of course, Total Hockey Now. We're in draft week here on Total Hockey Now. We got another mock coming up Thursday. We're doing our league draft on Saturday night. So yes, all your fantasy hockey needs, and we're going to be talking some futures as well. We'll do a little Vezina odds this week, some Hart Trophy next week. But for that man over there, at Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. Back with you next week. We'll talk a little week 4 in the NFL and a bunch of other things here on the next episode of Rip N Riff.